I think we all created because we are all gods. We are all, even God said He will never leave you or forsake you. So therefore, you have the energy and the power that you need. You just gotta be connected to it, and to be connected, you have to know. You know what I mean? But when you question it, is created by fear, and that fear will cripple you into thinking that you are weak because you believe that the fear that you're experiencing is real. Like whatever stoppage is real. So you can always feel. I mean, and I understand why you might feel like you're not strong enough, but in all reality, every one of us is strong enough. That's something that we all have, because nobody was created greater than the other one. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. We're all on a journey and it's like endless. It's endless. Like when you find people in a physical reality like saying, "Oh, I know, I got all the answers." That ain't it, because it's really the opposite. It's like when you could embrace the fact that you know nothing, that this is an endless journey, then the universe yields to you and give you more, but you're still not going to ever get it, because there's no it to get. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's just a boundless universe. And we keep, with our thoughts, creating more and more and more. Hmm, that was interesting. So do you feel, do you believe that you've heightened in your conscious level? You talked about the sleep paralysis, but do you feel as though you had like a pivotal moment where you awakened, so to speak? Yeah. Like before, I don't know if you heard the question we were all answering. Like, how did, how was the question related? How did we become conscious, Kurt?
So I think we were talking about sleep paralysis, and then we were speaking about dreams. I believe that's when she came
That's
in.
when she came on. Oh, okay.
But I think the question was is when did you become aware that you were conscious?
Yeah, that part, the awareness of consciousness. Or you feel like you are aware enough on that level to really understand the sleep paralysis and stuff?
I don't think she was talking about
You know what? I want to share something with you about me. Like years ago, I used to feel really, really depressed when I was younger. And so now, if I could look back on it, I was depressed because of little girl, little daddy issues that I had. But if I could look back on those moments of depression and relate to people who I know in the physical reality that are depressed, now being conscious, I look at it like this here. At the core of what we are and who we really, really are the nothingness. You know how, like in the biblical text, they talk about the darkness that was on the face of the deep in the beginning of creation? That energy, that darkness, we could call it melanin, we could call it the universe, the black hole, the Big Bang, whatever you will call it, source energy, God. But at the end of the day, energy, yeah. At the end of the day, that is what we are. That nothingness. And so you know how like we feel like a void, so to speak, or we feel sad or we feel alone? It's simply because that is really where we are. The nothingness. So, but we picked up this little avatar self. We pick up this little ego. We think we're black women, We think we're moms and stuff. But we really the nothingness. And so people are actually in the physical reality wanting to commit suicide because they're the nothingness and they don't want to accept the nothingness. And then when they go cross over to the other side and realize that the nothingness, they want to come back forward to this side again. And we go back and forth sometimes. But if you could be in the physical and accept that I am the nothingness, having a human experience, that would have helped me if I would have known that back in the day. I would have dried my little tears up and just would have been like, okay, I ain't not anyway. So I just wanted to share that with you so you wouldn't maybe beat yourself up with depression, with anxiety, with feeling alone. But at the same time, though, that darkness wasn't alone because I was in that darkness. Danae was in that darkness. Kirk was in that darkness. So you really never really alone in your nothingness because collectively we are collective consciousness.
Right.
And so we're never separated even when we feel lonely. We're never really single even when we in the physical reality people tell us that we are. Because we share thoughts. This is why I could think of something and then you'll be like, oh, I was just thinking about that. Because even our thoughts are collective. They're not alone. We're never alone. So if you get to a lonely point in your life or depressed point in that life, I'm hopeful that you could remember that to get you up and going. Because life is beautiful. Life come forth for thrills and chills of expansion to play this little game called being human, having a human experience. But you got to find the good. There's good out there. There's love out there. There's your passion, the thing that you really want to do is out there. And if you could just think maybe happy thoughts about it or find joy in the little things you do and stumble upon that passion, sky is not even the limit for you.
Right. You're right.
Well said. Well said.
Well, very well said.
That nothingness is where we create, because when you think about zero is nothing. We go from 0 to 9, and that's where we create. We start with 1 at the beginning, and from there, so whatever it is, you create. You create from nothing. Like Bridget was saying, that nothingness, you just take that darkness and bring it to the light.
Yeah.
Whatever that thought is, we are what we think, what we imagine, Imagine what it is that you want,
Yeah. Interesting. So what else about consciousness you want to discuss, Mr. Kirk?
Nothing specific because consciousness is so broad. It's so broad. There's so much I think is misunderstood. I think I think many of us we actually believe that we are actually conscious, or we awaken, or we awoke. We actually believe that what we see is real. We actually believe what we think and feeling is real. We believe that all this damn stuff that we experience is real too. And like you said, now realizing that this way, you created whatever you do. When you created your God, you created your Savior, you created your thoughts. Well, you create your experience. And if we could create our experience, the whole point of consciousness is, like, for instance, if you ever had a lucid dream, as soon as you recognize in your dream that you are lucid, and one of the best things to do is that when you are dreaming, try to look in a mirror. And when you look in a mirror, at that moment you become lucid, because that mirror wakes the hell out of you. It wakes you up, because when you look in the mirror, you cannot see your face, because you can only see your subconscious in the mirror. So
wow.
it brings you, because Bridget, you know how long we've been dreaming, but have you ever seen your face in a dream?
I don't remember. No.
That's crazy. Like, I feel like if I tried to even do that, no, like that's.
No. And it's funny that in your dream, when you pass a mirror and you try to look, there's a force that turns your head back. So it's like something just keep your head back from looking at yourself in the mirror.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Well, I would love to experience that. I haven't experienced that.
So wait, because you freak out?
Some people do, but number one, it awakens you, because you will be lucid at that moment, because you actually see yourself. But the thing is, what you see, remember, because when you're dreaming, all you're dreaming is your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind don't see what your conscious mind sees. It sees different images, but you see yourself based on how you feel about yourself.
Oh my!
And if you feel terrible about yourself, when you look at yourself, you're going to be depressed.
That's interesting. I want to do that. I'm going to write that down on my little notebook.
I feel like I'm getting healed from this conversation.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because it is healing. Wow.
I'm going to write that down, though, for real, Kurt, and ask myself, because if I want to dream about a certain thing or figure something out, I'll write it down in question form. And I'm going to ask myself for that. That's an experience there.
And then, 1 second.
Oh my God. So like, it's going to be like energy? It's going to be like energy, or how I see myself, like what I see in this mirror.
So what you're going to see is a sketched up, broken down, just like if you ever seen a movie, like a scary movie, when you couldn't see somebody's face because this person the face was just blocked and blotched and all these things.
Oh,
that's
I
what
see.
You see.
I see.
Because, so let me say this. When you, like I said, it's in a video once. If you ever take a selfie, and you take a camera and you take a picture of yourself, bam. Notice that what you see when you click the snap button is not what you see when the picture is there.
Right.
And why is that? Why is that? Because you see yourself based on how you feel about yourself. So at that moment, you feel, bam, and you take the picture. But then when you look at the picture, the feeling is gone, and it's just a blank picture. It's just a picture with no feelings, no emotions, nothing at all. So it's going to always be like this is not what I look like. I thought I was looking at that. You know what I mean?
Is that why videos look a little better?
Oh my God. That is so funny. Yeah. And true at the same time.
Yeah, that's how the human mind works, because without the emotions and the feelings and the frequency, you don't, things are just things. Your body's just a body. Your face is just a face. It's just, things are dead. But it's your feelings and your vibrational frequency that makes you feel better and look better and make you glow better. So a camera cannot pick up frequency. So that's why it doesn't show you how you really look. A lot of us, we look at ourselves based on the lenses of a 3-dimensional world. It doesn't work, because you're looking at yourself based on the physical aspect. If you look at yourself based on a physical aspect, you will never see beauty. You will never find love. You will never find that peace. You will never find anything else deeper than a physical thing.
Wow.
So much for being superficial, huh?
So, so now the thing about consciousness, it causes you to raise your frequency so that you would actually see love. And when you see love, no matter what it is, everything becomes love. Everything you touch becomes love. So you don't see the world or yourself like that anymore. And the best time to see love is when you feel less deserving of it. When you feel like you don't want it. When you feel like you're not loved. When you feel this is the best time to actually be loved anyway. This is the best time because this is the purpose of love. We always feel like we are not deserving of love. That so we feel separated from it. But in all reality, you can't be separated from it because when you are, you will die instantly. You cannot live a day without love. It's impossible.
Because love connects us all things.
Yeah, love is a frequency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to love ourselves first before we can even love others. But you have to love yourself.
Yeah, and you love yourself because when you understand that this loving yourself is a starting of is an understanding of you and God. Period. That's the understanding. That's the initial understanding about God. Because how can you not love what is the highest form of creation? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, but love has to be in the formula. We don't see love because we think that we're not worthy of it, or we experienced some crap back in the days, or we still holding on to guilt. Jay, can I ask you a question, Jay? Seriously. How much guilt do you carry?
A lot.
Yeah, makes sense.
A whole lot.
It makes a lot of sense, right? Because guilt will drain the hell out of your body. It will completely drain you down. You're probably gonna have anxiety attacks. Do you have those?
I do.
Yes. And
racing thoughts.
Yeah.
Stress dreams. And I just want to say stress dreams are really interesting. Like it's not like a scary dream, but you're just stressed the hell out like the entire dream. And that's just, So I get all of that.
That sound draining.
Do you ever see yourself running in your dreams? Like running? That's something is chasing you?
And I can't even right now think of any stress dreams. But it's crazy stuff like, okay, like this is gonna sound crazy, but like last night, I had a dream that my mom was dying, but really in the end, it turned out to be something incredibly superficial. So I was just like stressed for no reason, basically.
You were stressed in the dream, you mean?
Yes. And when I was younger, when I was going through what I was telling you before, and this is what really made me realize that dreams are just a reflection of your own consciousness. Because back when I was really young, 14, 15, 16, I was going through a whole lot, and I felt like I did not have anybody. Like, there was so many people around me that was just trying to get me. They just wanted me to do, I guess what was the right thing to do. But I just felt so much like nobody could see how much pain I was in, or like they weren't listening to me, and I didn't have the words myself. And I promise you, almost every night during that point of my life, I would dream that I couldn't speak, or I would yell and sound would barely come out, or I couldn't open my mouth, or I speak, but it wasn't English. It was something that nobody else understood. And that's what really made me realize, dang, the subconscious mind is real, and it really does have a big effect on your dreams.
Are you, I don't mean to ask this question, but you don't have to answer. Are you over 35 years old?
No, I'm 25.
You're 25. Lord have mercy.
He's a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked that up early. I was like, wow, she's young with all of this here.
Mm-hmm.
I asked that because I thought that you were older than 35. I, ain't gonna lie. I don't know why. I just thought you were older than 35. Jesus, yeah. Yeah, you got me that one. And it's not a bad thing. Yeah, I was just curious because it seems like. So let me tell you. So there's no coming to consciousness without pain, and it feels like this is your time. This is your timing that you might be, you know, calling a little bit earlier than the average person. You know, like you might be getting there a little bit more quicker than, you know, like you look at Christ. Christ, he was 34 when he died. And in all reality, when you look at the death of Christ, it's the ascension of his consciousness that happened at that age. So usually a man will become conscious like by 40. So that's why when they don't cross over is when they have the midlife crisis and all that stuff because their identity is being confused. See what I'm saying? A woman usually go past that. I'm sure like Brigitte probably maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago when she started hers. I'm pretty sure. Does that make sense, Brigitte?
Yeah, yeah, you're on it. Yeah.
Right. So we all have a specific time when consciousness is trying to awake us. It's like life is shaking the hell out of you.
Oh
But
yeah.
it seems like it's shaking you right now, but it's a little early. So I don't know.
He said it's a little early.
Yeah, it's a little early.
Yeah.
So
I started out pretty early, I must say.
Yeah, and when it shake you though, oh my God, I thought I was going crazy. I really did. And when you get that I guess that shaking of consciousness when you about to really get deep with it or whatever, you feel like you feel isolated, you feel different, you feel confused, but you're yet still having this intense yearning to learn and research and be a sponge to information. Like why am I here? You needed to know. That was my main thing. What happened about the connection?
And just saying, I don't have a strong connection telling me to move somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that is, but I can hear you guys now. It was just everybody was cutting up. I couldn't hear.
But my main question was, why am I here? What are we doing here? Is this meaningless? I used to always wonder about that. And that's what brought me down that rabbit hole and to learn. But
it's almost like a trigger. You know, we have to go through these things because it triggers us um, to become more aware, more conscious. And sometimes, like they talk about going through the ascensions, and sometimes these are a lot of the symptoms of it because there's a cleansing phase you're going through, and you have to look at, you know, your childhood and growing up, and there's a lot of things that still need to be cleansed. You know, Jay was saying the chakras, you know, cleaning those chakras. If it's a lot of hurt, you know, you have to cleanse that heart chakra. You know, because sometimes that can prevent you from loving, you know, even loving yourself. So it's just, you know, like I was saying, going within yourself and just letting go, you know, almost you have to have that FU type of attitude about everything and stop caring about what other people may think of you and just be you, you know, and just try to go within yourself to find out what that is. That what it is that you need the healing. That's what it sounds like. What I'm picking up on it, that you're going through this, but you're on that journey to where you're going to that healing because look at you, you're here now, you know.
right. Yeah, and it's nothing just happens. Just the fact that you're here on this call with this like-minded energy over here, we was just talking. I was pressing wrong buttons and stuff, and you pop up in here, you know, with your story. It's not at all. But that's a beautiful thing because it really gets fun. I remember during that moment for me, I was like I had just finished cutting out all my meat and my dairies and stuff. So to black people, I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana. So black people down here looking at me sideways, wondering if I'm, how rude they could be, if I'm on crack. Meanwhile, I have all of these things going through my mind about consciousness and who I am, and trying to love myself and trying to eat right and change my diet and then be healthy for my children and being a single mom. It was just so much on me. But she's right when she say you gotta kind of like have that FU mentality and be about yours and your mind. Be about making sure your mental is up to par. I didn't care what nobody thought about me, because I had lost so much weight and then I cut all my hair off my head so I look different. I used to have long permed hair, but I ain't want no dead hair no more. All kind of changes I was going through, and I was reading and up all night and talking weird talk to people, and a lot of people, even like my church or whatever, they disown me. They don't want to hear nothing about no universe. And my mom and my aunt and my brother, they all was in the ministry, and here I'm a backside all of a sudden. I'm like, you know what? Okay, because all right, well, I'm gonna just go to hell. Leave me alone. And I really came to a point where I cut all family and everybody off because it was like I was just going crazy, and I just had to go into this crazy by myself and deal with myself and figure some things out. They wasn't respecting where I was in my journey. I didn't even know where the hell I was in my journey. So I used to go figure it out.
I'm still that way. Still trying to find my way.
But yeah, it really gets intense. It's like a lonely road, and only you can travel it. Nobody, other people could give you, can maybe inspire you, but it's your journey by yourself. I remember that. I'm so glad I made it. Oh Lord.
I'm glad you made it too.
Look, it remind me of that church song. My soul look back and wonder how I made it over.
When I wish somebody told me this when I started my journey of consciousness, is that this is what they never taught us. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing at all wrong with you. The only thing that's wrong with you is you thinking something is wrong with you. That's the only thing that's wrong with you. What happens is that your consciousness hasn't, or your how you think life should be, just ate, and you fight your reality. Anything you fight becomes stronger. I don't care if me and you get in a fight, you're not gonna just let me beat you up. You're gonna fight back, right? I mean, for real, like you're gonna fight. Because you have to resist me. So what happens is that when you fight in your current reality, especially when it's not even real, and fighting something that's not even real, whoop your ass every single time.
Yeah.
It beats you, and it makes you exhausted because it's like fighting your shadow. Mm-hmm. You literally fighting your shadow. You're trying to run from it. You don't like where your shadow is. So it's like you're trying to move, and the shadow is like, "Hey, I'm right here. Hey, this is you're right here. Like, what are you gonna do?" And you getting upset with where the shadow is, not realizing that you are right here too. This is where you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one of the things is that nothing is wrong with you. It's just that you think that you should be somewhere else, be doing something else. And when you use that should in consciousness, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. The two cannot be in the same room. Should and conscious. Because conscious means I'm present. Should means I'm not. I should be somewhere else.
Yeah. That's so true.
Mm-hmm. If you're using shoulds and all them stuff, then you cannot accept where you are. Where you are, I promise you, is not as bad as you think. It's just that where you think that you should be, you think is a heaven. In reality, this is, you don't know anywhere else but here. This is where you should be trying to work at where you're here so that you could actually get enough to move. Because life ain't getting better until you graduate from where your current life is.
It's not. And you have a lot of graduations. A lot of ceremonies. So you might as well go ahead on and master it because there will be more.
crap gets deeper and deeper every day.
It really does. I still have a graduation. I'm working on graduating now. I don't have all my credits. I'm still I'm still trying to graduate from something else. I promise you. I
Wow.
promise you.
Yeah, the biggest issue is thinking that we should be somewhere else, man. Listen, you shouldn't be anywhere else, man. Like, this is the best place to be. This is the way you learn, and this is where you need to be fed. This is where you need to be at. This is where because we keep repeating what we haven't accepted. If you haven't, muster up the strength, and the wisdom and the lesson that you need from here, there's no need for you to go to the next one.
Yeah.
So what is here trying to teach you? What are you trying to teach you? Are you going to get upset with the lesson and say F it, or are you going to just learn the lesson and say, okay, let me just go to the next grade?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds cliche. It sounds really damn cliche, because if somebody was telling me that, I'd be like, man, what are you talking about? But, and not that I'm in a higher place, it's just that I understand.
Yeah.
Like this is now, Brigitte always tell me I'm too simple.
He is very simple. He is so simple. And for me, simple is hard, and that might sound kind of backwards, but because of me being maybe in a technical field, being very analytical, me being a mother, I got to make sure when I get off from work, now I still got to be a little analytical and in my head thinking about what we're going to eat, and, is the front door locked, and da-da-da-da. You know how you get those thoughts. But he teaches me how to be simple and not even to read in anything. Like today, for example, he was telling me, just pay attention to when somebody is talking and don't think. And I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm like, what? How the hell I'm going to do that? Don't think. Oh my gosh, how does she do that crap? But I'm still learning too, because sometimes I'm in think mode and I got to remember, okay, pay attention to what this person is saying and don't think. Be present in the moment.
Yeah. It's when you're present is when you get it. Thinking gonna make you have your own thoughts and your own ideas of what they're saying, and that's not what they're saying. Because you think, because what thinking is, thinking separates you from your current reality. Thinking actually leaves the present moment and go to the past or the future. Thinking makes you shake, makes you get anxiety attacks, makes you lose your mind, your heart stop beating fast, you start panicking. Thinking would do that to you.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So the thing is,
and it stops you from listening.
Yes.
So people don't understand when I say I don't think much. If I don't have to think, I'm not thinking. I'm not wasting time thinking. That's like 60% of the energy just gone.
And now I understand about being in the now. I teach about that. I even practice that. But I'm talking about the kind of thinking like, as soon as somebody finished their sentence, I veer off. I was there with them in the present moment, but after they shut up, I even do it on my YouTube channel. After somebody shut up, I'll be like, yeah, that's me going down the daggone rabbit hole. If I ever do that again, I'll be like, yeah. And then I'll start thinking about all kind of stuff. Like, it just hit me, but I got to stop doing that too.
Thinking is a devil, man. Thinking is how we get in places that we don't like, because, like I said, you start thinking about where you should be, where you shouldn't be, how you should. Everything is about thoughts. And you know what? To be honest with you, do you know what's a fact? A fun fact is that 90% of your thoughts is not even yours. It's not even yours.
It's memory.
Or
other people's thoughts.
Well, growing up, the reason why you were who you were is because your mother, your father, your sisters, your cousins, your teachers, your pastors, everybody fed you all this belief system. It's just like Adam and Eve, and then they start biting off certain fruits. If you do this, you're gonna die. If you don't do this, and when you start learning, your thoughts is not yours because it's not your belief system. So if I tell you, like if I tell my child, if you do this, then you're a bad girl. Creates in her mind when a good girl is this. A good girl is this, and if I'm a good girl, so now the thought is not hers, it's mine still. It's still mine. So everything that we have believed and accepted from our teachers, our mothers, fathers, whatever teachers and stuff, it's not ours. So we're living a life based on someone else's thoughts and opinions, and then we grow up, we go against, we're like, shit, this ain't working for me, but yet we keep the same belief system, and we suffer of what we're doing. We suffer with anxiety and depression because those thoughts and ideas and teachings is not working for us. But instead of dumping those teachings, we don't. We keep them. And then these thoughts that you stay up all night thinking is not even yours, and you suffer in your thoughts. You're suffering where you think you should be. Should you be single? Should you be married? Should you be this? Should you do this? Should you? And we suffer your entire life with somebody else's belief system. Isn't 90% of your thoughts ain't yours?
Yeah. Pretty much like memory and passed down thoughts from what others told you. And so it's kind of like our diet that get passed along, our thoughts get passed along, the way we treat other people. We pick up like the attitude, so to speak, of our parents and stuff. And so we be that energy of before us. That's why they call that it's equivalent to that generational curse, so to speak. I hate to say the word curse, but somebody has to stop the program or the memory or the trend or the generational repeat.
All right. Yeah. Man, I need to have this conversation tonight. I promise you I did. I needed to be reminded.
The key is to stop thinking. Just relax. And that's very, remember, it's not easy. I ain't gonna tell you it's an easy thing. Okay, having the ability to not think, it feels like you're lost. You feel confused. You feel like you're doing something wrong. And then when you try hard to do it, to not think, you're gonna even be more frustrated because you're like, I can't stop. What the hell is going on? I'm thinking. I'm thinking again. You know what I mean? So,
but it's especially important to remember not to think when thinking makes you think of something negative. It makes you feel sad. That's what helped me when Kurt explained it to me that way, kind of like if you think and you have an expectation behind it and you're going down a spiral of negative thoughts. If those expectations aren't met, why the heck did I even start thinking about this thing? That set well with me right there. Like, because there's so many other thoughts that I could have had, but I chose the one to have me sitting here looking sad and silly.
All these thoughts, and you picked that one.
Right. So if you could remember that part when you get in that sad slump or whatever, to pull yourself out of there, that'll be priceless for your journey. And you're so young to know that. Oh my gosh.
When you're thinking, you're manifesting. And that's all I always try to tell myself. It's like, what do I want to manifest?
Right.
It's whatever I'm thinking. So you got to think about it. What you're thinking about at that moment when you start feeling a certain way. Think about what you're thinking about. And then if it's something that's negative, then switch it to something positive. Because when we think, we manifest things, You know how sometimes you can make something, you keep thinking of something bad is going to happen, and then all of a sudden it happens. It happened because you manifested. Like you say, you put it out there, universe, it comes right back to you. So be really careful of your thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
The law of attraction states a thought held for more than 16 seconds begin to vibrate. And when things start to vibrate, it's coming to you. So if you're going to think something for a whole night, because some of us stay up all night thinking, I don't know why. It doesn't happen really, but we do it. And you have to understand that the average person, and I say average because not all of us do it, but the average person, we got so much different frequencies in us. We have anger, we got resentment, we carry all this unforgiveness, we carry all this hate, we carry all this jealousy, we carry all this insecurities, all this. We carry so much things. We carry so many different emotions, and they lay in us, they stay in us because we don't know how to get rid of them. So all these energies, and they're all energies. Thoughts also are energies. And every thought that you carry in your mind, I guarantee you that it will connect to an emotion that you already have. Mm-hmm. And now when it connects to the emotion, it brings the emotion up, and then it becomes even stronger, because now the emotion, which is energy emotion, is taking the thought that is multiplying the damn thing.
Yep.
And then it starts to make you feel a certain way. And feeling is the secret. So now when you feel it is when you create it even faster in your life.
Yeah.
So you got to be aware. And those things is what helped me understand, dude, sit your ass down and stop thinking nonsense, because the hell, it doesn't do anything for you besides make you miserable. And everybody struggle with it. So it's not something that only you're going to struggle with. We all struggle with it.
Thank you.
What I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't beat yourself up. I do it. Not to say that I'm somebody big or major, but I'm just saying I've been on a journey for a while, and I still do that. I still slip up with that. And I know all of this. And I done read the books. And I told myself I wasn't going to do it no more. And then I did it again. So it just happens. And then I look at it like how he was saying, the thought is the electric spark. You thinking about it is the electric spark, the thought, right? So when you put your heart and your feelings in it, then that is the magnetic end, because now your emotions are tied to it. So collectively together, that's an electromagnetic form of energy that you're sending out into the universe, because you done thought about it and you done felt an emotion for it, and it's going to go up there and spark, and it's going to come back to you and manifest and show face in the physical reality. I know all that, and I still do it. Okay. But what I also know, though, is that I'm not going to sit there and beat myself up when I do it. I'm going to acknowledge that, okay, that's a thought that we really don't want to create with. So bring it on back in. Think another thought, a more positive thought. It's okay that you thought that thought, because, you slip up sometimes. I'm not going to beat myself up here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that I feel good, because how I feel really matters here. Because I don't want to create anything from that low frequency thought. I don't want it to penetrate and pulsate for greater than the 16-second time. I want to trump it by thinking of love, thinking of joy. And I like to do things that help that by watching cartoons, by dancing, by laughing, even taking a nap sometime, by meditating, by going to sleep and say, God darn it, this day here was just a lot. I want it over. So I'm going back to the cosmetic realm. I'm done. And so it allows you to recharge, though. Sleeping and napping, it takes you to another realm, and it increases your frequency. That's why you feel good. Like if you're sick or something and you take a nap, you'll begin to feel better just because you refreshed yourself, So doing little small things in between really does help us increase our frequency. And even loving on something, a baby, a dog, looking at a beautiful garden, going outside, sitting in the sun, all of those things help us. And I've done them all, if my emotions was low. So for me to bring it back into consciousness, for me now is knowing that I have a choice. I can choose to think happy thoughts. I also could choose to not think none of them darn thoughts and get my butt to bed. Do some meditation and say, you know what, let it work itself out. But I'm still this person experiencing those old thoughts sometimes. I just don't wrap emotions to it. I just don't replay it and go back in the file room and be like, oh, well, it felt this bad doing this here. And it was so horrible doing this here. And I remember that so-and-so had this on when we did this here. And, you just got to let it flow.
Amen, Sister Bridget. Amen.
Listen at him. Kurt is like my new guru, y'all. Danae, you remember my old guru died. So
I'm not a guru. I'm too young to be a guru.
You my guru, and you're gonna like it.
But in all seriously, life to me is funny because I think I laugh at it most days. And I laugh at it because I realize that there are things in this third dimension of reality that we live in that create certain perspective or certain perceptions in our minds and in our eyes, and we think that we see it. And we think, like, for instance, like problems. We don't realize that problems, these problems is something that is not even something to be solved. These problems is just, every problem is perfect. Everything is perfect. There's nothing that's imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
And these problems, really and truly, sometimes we think doing something is what fixes them. Sometimes it's not doing anything is what solves them. You know, I believe that consciousness is about doing and not doing equally.
What?
And I know that's confusing because, like, what the hell is not doing? Not doing is the ability to just stay still, just relax, stop thinking about it, stop fighting it, stop trying to solve it. It's nothing. Sometimes it's nothing to be solved. It's just something to be aware of. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But many times we want to fix everything because we are used to doing so much that we don't want to not do, because we are afraid that if we won't do, then something's gonna happen. But even though we realize that even though we're doing all these things, it still ain't working and it still ain't getting better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to surrender to not doing, not realizing that not doing is one of the hardest things to do. Or that's why we can't do it.
It really is.
We gotta stay, you know what I mean? We gotta stay busy. We gotta do all these things. We gotta put our hands and 2 cents in it. And sometimes even God says, just be still, dude. Like, relax, like, chill, sit your ass down, relax.
Yeah.
Not a problem. We don't have problems. We just have realities that we don't like. We have things that we did in the past that come back and bite us in the foot because it's something that we face, that something come back, or some kind of karmic energy come back, and we don't like it, so we think it's a problem. It's not a problem. For everything, there's something else, and that's it. But you have to feel the pain. That pain is mandatory. That pain is what's there to wake you up and say, hey, something is going on. Something is happening. But sometimes the best thing is to just not do anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Just
be, huh? Yeah.
When it comes to accepting where you are and not doing anything, like, where does creating my own reality fall into that? Like,
so, do you want me to answer, or Bridget, you want to answer, Bridget?
No, you could go. You started that one. Go on and wrap it up, Mr. Kurt.
Okay, can you answer the question again, please?
yes. So, like, I hear you, accepting where I am and not worrying about the things I should do. But I also know that in order to create my reality, there are things I should do. So, like, how do I find the balance between those two things?
Okay. So there's a verse that I like to bring up, and it's a very, very important verse, and I'll read it to you. Give me 1 second. Let me find it real quick. It says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if things is excellent and of all praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice. So there's a reason why he said this. Mm-hmm. Whatever is noble, whatever is pure, think of these things. There's a power in thoughts. Thoughts travel at about 280 million miles per second. That means thoughts is the only thing that penetrates time and space, which is this 3-dimensional world that we live in. The only thing that penetrates time and space is thoughts, our thoughts. It is so powerful that if you think of someone or something, or your cousin or your mother, they call you instantly because they feel that they don't know what they're feeling because they're not conscious of it, but it's something that connects with them, that they feel, maybe I should call Jay, or maybe I should give Kirk a call. And instantly, as you think about them, they call you, and you're like, oh, I was just thinking about you. So thoughts is that powerful. The thing is, the average person don't know how to guide their own thoughts. So how do you create a reality? Just like when you manifest, and there are 3 steps in creating the reality that you want. And we already spoke about it, but let me speak about it again. First thing first, speak out loud your desired life. What do you want? I want to be, so by next year, I want to have my own house. I want to have a blue car. Be specific. Don't be afraid to be specific, because people are so afraid to be specific because, well, what if it don't happen this way? Screw that. Be specific. So speak what you want, right? Second thing, just like when a football player is going to touch a touchdown, he first see him doing it. He first see him moving on the field. He sees how we hold the ball. He sees him moving. He sees him dodging all these other players, and he sees himself touching down. All right? So the second thing is to see yourself doing it. Third thing is to actually feel the emotion of how you're going to feel when you do it. Feel the emotion. Feel that, oh, man, this feels good. And that's when your frequency actually increases. When your frequency increases, the law of vibration / attraction states, that's when you start to attract it. That's when now it's drawn to you. That's when that reality is created, because now you feel the emotion in this minute. Now, the subconscious mind or the universe do not deal in time. Time don't exist anywhere else but in your mind or in your body or in the physical dimension that we live in. So when you feel that moment like it's happening right now, you just created it. This is how you create. When you feel that emotion, when you feel that power, when you feel like it's happening right now, that is actually when it's happening. Now, the thing is, you got to keep your mind right there. We human beings want to be distracted. We want to get, pop off at the mouth. We want to cuss people out. We want to, be around people who are loud and all this damn distraction, so that it's hard for us to keep that same frequency high. To create the frequency, those 3 things really work. It works every single time, but you got to be able to be disciplined enough to actually speak your desire out. Speak your desires, see your desires at the end. And one of my thing about how do I see that those desires at the end, like for instance, when I was selling my house the first time or renting my house, I literally had a conversation with the person who bought my house. I literally had a conversation in my mind, of me seeing them shaking, picking up the sign from my house and, taking it, I took it to the car and I'm shaking his hand saying, thank you so much for, and bam, literally the next day I had a call. And I was like, God dang, this is fast. But this is how you create your reality, those 3 steps. But you have to be disciplined enough to do it. It's not hard. It just takes, it takes intention. Like, you have to be intentional. But that's how you create a reality. Those 3 steps. Start doing that and watch your life turn around.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to how she said that. Okay. That was cute. So that's really in lieu of the doing part, because you did it the mental way. Because all things at the end of the day are energy. So you already got the energy and going with momentum. And so you just rest at that point and being still and knowing that it is done. All is well. You saw it already. It happened. So that's what I meant when I was telling you earlier that you have to feel it, and then you have to be healthy, and then the wellness shows up,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's when the trust comes in, because when you do those 3 things, something happens, because now you create something. Now you become a co-creator with God, right? Because you are with God. You was always with God, and you became the Word. So you just spoke your intentions. You became the Word. The Word became flesh. Now you're walking in that Word. That was talking about you. It wasn't talking about Christ. It was talking about you, because you are the Christ, right? So when you put the Word, now the word is manifested now into a physical reality. But now is when the trust comes in, because now everything starts to be aligned. Now your phone calls are going to start. Now your intuition is going to kick in and says, hey, do this. Hey, go there. Hey, talk to this person. Now is when things start to happen physically behind the scenes. That you're like, oh, shoot, everything's falling in place. But that's when you got to trust your intuition and depend on your intuition.
Yeah, definitely. And it does work. It does work. We are creators. We create whether we want to admit it or not. All the good and the not so good experiences, we create both of them. Not, some people will say, okay, the devil did that, but no, not really. You did it, baby. We want to give fault to the devil. And even, when it don't work out, some people even go further, even saying, well, it must not have been God's will, so to speak, to take themselves off of the hook for their energy. So that goes back to them dreams being all about what's going on in your subconscious. Nothing to do with other people. That's your energy. That's your little cluster of feelings and emotions and thoughts just spinning around you, which creates your overall aura, so to speak. So like when you walk in a room and, you could feel other people's energy, or they feel yours. That's what they're feeling. All of those thoughts and feelings that are around your bubble type aura, that's reaching them. That's communicating with theirs. When you go in a bad neighborhood and you want to lock your doors or whatever because you feel like unsafe, all of a sudden you're feeling the energy that's there. We're more energetic than this physical world.
Do you like red? The color red? Do you like it?
I prefer blue and purple.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. When's the last time you wore red?
Last time I wore red?
Yeah.
I have on a burgundy now.
Okay. So when's the last time you wore it before today?
Well, I have a red hoodie that I wear a lot.
Red hoodie?
And I probably wore it yesterday.
Okay. Well, so it's kind of obvious that your root chakra is blocked completely. It's really off balance. And I wouldn't. So this is what I would assume, and I could be wrong because I haven't read into anything. Relationship, finances, kind of. It's possible that at that level it might be a little off, both, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And then just jobs in general. So when it comes to finance and relationship, are you in a relationship or are you single?
Single.
Do you have relationship issues? I mean, like, did you just recently have one? Issue or what?
No, I've never really been in a relationship, to be honest.
Why is that? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, I don't want to get into your business. I'm just conversation.
Because I've always kind of known that I wasn't really ready. I'm not, like, I want to get to where I want to be before I would ever,
Financial wise, are you good? Financially, are you?
Yeah, financially, yeah, I'm not in a good spot financially.
Okay, so that's throwing off your root chakra. It's throwing it off, and while that root chakra is off, everything else is off. So when the root chakra is off, everything else is off. So it's going to hurt you in the long run. And I think you should start. I think the best start would be to start to balance your root chakra. And when you start to balance it, you're going to start feeling a little better. Now, I don't know if you know how to balance that. I don't know if you, Vijay, I don't know if you could speak on that one more. Because, you know, you're a woman and you might know woman stuff.
Woman stuff. Well, for me, my root chakra had everything to do with my little girl issues, with back to my daddy issues, survival, you know, and so for me, it was really me just creating that peace, that feeling that all was well, that I was loved. You know, I would lay down in my bed sometimes, regardless of what was going on financially or emotionally with me. And I would just talk to the little girl in me. I would hug myself, like literally wrap my arms around myself, and I'll be like, come here, as if I'm calling my lower self, so to speak. Come here, let me hold you. Come here, let me hold you. And I would literally bust out and cry and act this out. It was the little girl that was just crying. And I was being the bigger person saying, but it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Come here. And while I'm actually patting my chest, you know, my back. And I'm saying, all is well, all is well. But you are loved, you are protected. I have you right here in my arms, and I am not going to leave you. I'm not going to let anything happen to you, because you are so beautiful, and you're so perfect, and you're protected, and you're so loved, and you're so beautiful. And I'm here with you. Because it's really like a protection thing. It's like it even has a lot to do with a lack of love. It had a lot to do with a lack of guidance too for me, you know. So it's like I needed a bigger person. It wasn't necessarily daddy, because I played the role myself as my higher self being my bigger person, letting my lower self know I got you and all is well, to create that feeling of security, a feeling of belonging. And I used to do that to myself, maybe every other night, probably every night for the first week or so, until I could skip a night, until I really became whole into the knowing of that. And that's how I healed mine.
Yeah, your root chakra has a lot to do with security, feeling secure, feeling loved, feeling like you know, like you have a spot here on earth, like not worrying about finances, not worrying about relationship, knowing that you are good.
Yeah. And I would tell myself those things. I would tell myself, you are doing the best you can.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be grateful for where you are. Look at how far we've come. You know, look at the fact that we have a roof over our head. I know daddy wasn't there. And I went back there. I know daddy wasn't there, but guess what? You made it. You made it. Look at the woman, the beautiful, strong woman you are today. Look at yourself. I would do it sometimes even in the mirror when I would get dressed for work, because, you know, I carried it for a long time. And sometimes I would just bust out and cry in the mirror getting ready. On my way to work, didn't put makeup on because I knew by the time I got to work, I was going to be crying anyway. So why put it on? But I would talk to myself like, come on, we got this. Come on. It was like I was bringing that little girl with me. Come on. And she was growing up when I was doing that. She was healing when I was doing that. She was bonding with me. We became the best of friends, and, you know, it evolved together. And now I am that. There's no separation from that.
I think it might be a good practice for you to balance your root chakra, like look into that. Another way to balance your root chakra. The root chakra is all about the ground, right? It's all about grounding. Feeling like you are worthy, feeling like you are loved, feeling like you belong here. So it's all about Earth. It's all about the Earth, the Mother Earth, giving you because you are stable. You are right here. As a matter of fact, one of the things about the root chakra is that we go off balance because we don't feel like it be kind of shaky. So to balance, one of the things to balance your root chakra is that you stand firm on the ground barefoot. Just go outside in the grass and just every step that you take, plant your foot down and picture your roots going from the bottom of your feet. Picture them going deep in the earth, and picture that when you inhale. So this is conscious walking, okay? Conscious walking. As you walk, as you step, you picture your and this helps instantly too. This is facts. The earth gives you the nutrients that you need for balance. Period. That's what the earth does. Yes. What you are is the earth. And as you walk and you plant your feet and see in your mind, see the roots go down in the ground, and as you inhale, you inhale and feel that nutrients coming up through you, through those vines, just from your foot, from your feet up. And you inhale it, and you inhale that nutrients, and then you step again with the next foot, and you see yourself, that thing going down, and then you inhale, feel that nutrient from the ground. And I guarantee you walk and you stay outside for a while barefoot, you're going to feel a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Grounding really helps. Like being in a park or whatever around trees a lot. I used to do that when I was in college. I would go sit underneath this one particular tree and I would just be releasing. And what I also did, I started to write down positive things of growth or whatever that, ways that I knew that I grew. And I would write it on a piece of paper and I would bury it in the ground. And it was like I was giving it to mother, to mother nature, And I was saying, here, I want you to make this grow for me. It was like I was planting a seed. I want you to make this grow into more things that are working out for me. And I just had a little spoon, a little metal spoon, and I, dig up a little bit of dirt because it was a small piece of paper, and I just put it underneath the little dirt and pat it back down. I did that a lot, and that helped connect me to the universe.
Yeah. I think that's where you should start, though. I think that's where you should start. I think that should be starting tomorrow. I think this is the most important thing that we said tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this will set you up completely to actually start your journey.
Yeah. And it's something positive and fun to do and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. I think even one day I was just so anxious and there just wasn't nothing I could do about it. So what I did do is I went to my local college campus because there's a lot of trees there, and I literally hugged the tree, and I felt like I really did feel like it was absorbing the energy from me. I was like, yeah, wow, that like we should do this as humans. We're so disconnected from nature now.
Yes, we are. Well, baby, let me tell you something. I have a favorite tree. I am a tree hugger. I just, matter of fact, was showing Mr. Kirk my tree. He just met my tree the other day.
Like, man, tree, same with this tree, like the tree's naked and stuff. Come on.
I sure did. I love trees because that was a tree when I was in college. I would cry under that tree. I would laugh under that tree. And it was like I had created an experience with it. It knew everything. Like when I was studying for my test, it was like it knew when I was struggling. That was the only spot I sat. And one day I decided I wanted to sneak and hug, because there had people around and I didn't want to look too weird. I'm going to sneak and hug the tree. Baby, when I hugged that tree and I felt that life up in there, I picked up that blanket. I was like, oh, I gotta go. I got so scared, and that's when I realized it was conscious too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I even had a moment, this even to me sounds kind of weird, but I don't even, so like one tree, like the first tree I felt was really kind of open to me, but the second one wasn't so much. I guess I don't know. Maybe it sounds weird, but like do you know what I'm saying? Am I sounding crazy?
No. You gravitate to certain ones. I know I had my favorite.
It was like, I don't know. It was like the other one. I don't know. It was like this too much too soon. I don't know. It was like I had to like kind of sit with it for a minute and then wrap my arms around it and then after that it was okay.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a really good start. Well, I know that would be a great start if you follow through with that.
Mm-hmm.
That could bring peace to you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anxiety.
Yeah, because they're connected. The trees are connected directly to source. All they have to do is just like raise their hand and surrender to source. Source gives them the water that they need when they need it, the sunshine that they need. They don't have the turbulence like we do, you know, bills and being human and being a lady, so to speak, in this physical reality and school and work. And they just have to be still and know. So
You got kind of emotional tonight. Why like which part of this was made you the most emotional?
I don't know, just knowing where I came from and feeling like at one point I had made so much progress and just feeling like I'm going back to like I feel like I'm regressing kind of. So thinking about it that way.
You gotta like one of my things that I do at nighttime. This is a practice that I do, and you guys, you know, sometimes you gotta put effort in these practices. Like I was telling Boucher, like I literally practice. I practice on a daily basis what I do and what I believe, and I literally practice it. And the best practice comes when you are facing that situation that you actually know or you just learned of. And when you put it to practice, you gotta practice. Like for instance, if I say it's not good to be jealous, when I'm facing a situation, I remember when you said it's not good to be jealous, and I'm like, okay, this is the best time to work on this, you know. So you keep challenging yourself. But at nighttime, what I do, man, I take off all TVs, all the lights, and I lay on my couch. I face up. I lay on my couch, and all I do is silence my mind and relax. And then after a few minutes, what I do, I see exactly like what I was telling you. I see my reality that I want. Like, so I say something and I think about something. I see it and then I feel it, and then when I wake up in the morning, I give gratitude. I'm thankful, you know, because being grateful is one of the best practices that I do every day. Every day I'm grateful for like I name off like 5 or 10 things, and it just increases your spirit and it makes you just excited to know that you're still here, and you know it makes you come to your mind, or it makes you become aware of the good things in your life, or the things that you love, like your children, or your home, or even the pillow that you sleep on, your favorite pillow. Like you could be grateful for any little thing that little car keys that battery never dies, and you could always click it and you always open the car door. I mean, it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it raises your frequency because it makes you smile and it makes you like, you're so silly. You know, like it puts you like, dang, for real. So it changes your entire spirit.
Yeah.
It shifts your entire spirit. But at nighttime, like tonight, after I get off of this, my whole place get dark, and I lay on my back and I picture certain things, and I peaceful, and bam, I fix my spirit there so that when I go to sleep, I don't dream scary stuff. I ain't tripping. I ain't worried.
That's not true. Yeah. Even one of my friends told me, he was like, the reason why you have unsettling dreams like that is because most of the time I just kind of fall asleep. Like I don't intentionally like try to relax or unwind first. I just kind of like sleep whenever I just pass out.
Silence your mind first, so that your mind won't be in there in your sleep, picking up a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and you remember how I was telling you that I was gonna write down what I wanted for my dream. You should practice that maybe. Like get you a little notepad, and what I do is I'll put it in a question form, So you could ask yourself, you could ask yourself,
That's good.
What does it feel like to have a peaceful dream? Or Jay, what does it feel like to have a dream that is happy or of love or whatever, however you want to experience it? Because what you're doing is you're asking your subconscious mind. And so you're being God. So God never asks itself a question that he or she doesn't know the answer to. So your subconscious mind in the midst of that turbulence is going to find that answer for you and bring it to you in your dream state. And that way your dreams could be clear and become better too for you.
Yeah. Yes, that makes so much sense. I need to start doing that. Have any of you ever tried to intentionally manifest with lucid dreaming? Because I feel like that could be so powerful.
I do.
He does. I don't. I'm just finding out about the mirror for the lucid. So guess what? I'm gonna do that mirror tonight though. I'm gonna find out some things and I will get back with you.
That's funny. What is your lucid dreaming practice? Because I've done it, but
so I don't have a practice. I just dream lucid. I think I've reached a place in my consciousness, in my conscious journey, that my stuff is less efforts now. I don't really use effort to do much stuff anymore. Because I'm just in tune with whatever. I don't resist much. I don't fight anything. I don't, nothing really. So it's like my spirit is just open to do whatever. Like whatever happens, happen. Whatever comes, it comes. Whatever goes, it goes. So I don't really try to do anything anymore. Before in the beginning, I used to try and focus and do this, but now it's like, let me just do it. But so I don't have a specific practice. I used to have a practice even to astral project. Like when I lay on my back, I had to be by myself. So lay on my back, it had to be really dark. About 2 a.m. usually is when this happens, and then I picture there's a ladder in front of me, and I'm climbing up the ladder, and I'm looking directly up, and I'm there, and bam, after I fall asleep, after I climb up the ladder, after I'm looking straight up, bam, that's when I astral project. But now I'm like, let me just relax, and whatever comes, whatever goes. So I don't have much practices no more. I think, well, for me, lucid dreaming was always something that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have a lot of experiences in my dream state, but not too many lucid.
I love lucid dreaming. I think it's fun. Even sometimes when it's not that fun, I'm trying to wake up. I'm like, Kirk, wake up. Kirk, wake up. Kirk, wake up. Especially when it's creepy.
Yeah.
Kirk, wake up. And sometimes I don't wake up. But I know I'm sleeping. Yeah.
That's what I used to do when I was little. Like when I was little, I used to have really bad nightmares. And eventually I would learn to just kind of become conscious in the dream and then change it, make it a good dream.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to catch us on here. I think it was, well, I know it was perfect timing, and actually it was for you seemingly, because we was just like, well, what do we got to talk about, and trying this here app out. But I see that we were needed here.
Well, I am so glad. I'm so glad that you guys were willing to listen to me and impart any experience and knowledge that you had. And I hope that this becomes a somewhat regular occurrence. And I cannot wait till more people join as well, because I definitely need more like-minded people.
Yeah, definitely. It is to come. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it was good talking to you, baby.
Yes.
Don't forget about what we said. Try those things, baby, to help you on your journey now.
Of course.
All right, thanks. You have anything else, Kurt?
No, I would say have a great night. We might be back here tomorrow or Friday or something, but we're going to do this on a regular basis, because we're going to start doing these groups.
Yeah. See, I was telling you.
Yes, this is my accountability. So y'all definitely know that I'm going through. I think I'm gonna start with writing down my questions.
There you go, baby.
Amazing.
All right. Thanks a lot. Y'all have a good night and be blessed, babe.
You too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.